And while Cook leads the NFL in yards after contact, 10-yard rushes, and touchdowns, the Bucs rank in the top 5 in each of those categories in their own right. And so while no back has had more than 60 yards against Tampa this season, Dalvin's already had 6 100-yard games. We'll keep this Pirate music going if we can. Key, what's the key for the Vikings beating the Bucs if they're able to do it?
Well, I think it's just simply you try and run the ball. You don't have to get as many yards. It's the attempts. It's all about the attempts. How many attempts can you get? And then from there, play action pass. And I think a lot of people get caught up in the yards in a game, not the attempts. When you have a play action system, you need the attempts so you can get the guys like Thielen open downfield in the middle of the field or Jefferson in the middle of the field, because the linebackers suck up. If the linebackers are just dropping, the passing game goes completely away. If you keep them honest and keep them going toward the line of scrimmage opposed to on their heels and into the secondary, you win.
Key, I'm 100% with you, and look no further than what they did against the Chicago Bears, which at the time was a comparable defense to the one that they're going to face. They handed the ball off to Dalvin 30 times. They just gave it to him 32 times against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the thing. This is about Levante David, Devin White, and Antoine Winfield Jr. on the defensive side for Tampa Bay. They know that Minnesota is going to try to establish the run, and either you can let Dalvin Cook wreck the game by what he does on the ground, or these three guys be who we know them to be for the majority of the season, and they make those plays. They make those one-on-one tackles in the hole. Winfield Jr. gets Dalvin Cook on the ground before he breaks off a 60-yard run. So that's what's important to me. That's what I'm looking for. But I 100% agree with Key. You cannot get away from giving Dalvin Cook the attempts, not only because it makes the defense think about it, but you have the ability, and based on what he's done throughout his career, one of them are going to pop if you give him enough opportunity. So I'm looking forward to seeing those matchups. These are two of the better linebackers in the NFL, and their responsibility in this game is heightened because of what you all just said about the play action with Kirk Cousins, and especially getting Dalvin Cook limited on the ground.
Yeah, I think this Tampa Bay defense will play well, but all eyes on their offense. They're just coming off of their bye week. In 2016, I was with Detroit, and we had our bye week like 8th week of the year, and we were playing bad on offense. We had no rhythm. We were doing a ton of stuff that I didn't think we should be doing, certainly, and our starter didn't think it as well. And so we go into the bye week, and it was a ton of like self-scouting. Like, everyone needs to understand that during the season, you can't make a ton of adjustments week by week by week. You're so focused on game planning, putting a game plan together to beat your opponent. When you get into the bye week, it's a ton of self-scouting, watching tape. What are we doing? Analytics play a big part of it. What are we doing well? What are we not doing well? What do we need to do more of? And I want to see if Tampa Bay did that. Because that's what we did in 2016. And we actually went 7-1 in our last 8 games. We played a lot better offensively. And so I want to see, did they realize that they need to use more motion? We saw the graphic for Kirk Cousins. Brady was 3rd when it came to play action pass success. I want to see if they're going to utilize more play action. I want to see if they're going to use more 12 personnel, put 2 tight ends on the field. So I'm all eyes on seeing if the week off, if they did the requisite self-scouting to really make their Super Bowl run. Because if they didn't make any changes, I can't be fully bought into thinking that they can make that run.
Yeah, you've got to think that that was the time when we finally had the Bruce Arians, Tom Brady conversation, whatever it looked like, of like, hey, Tom going in and being like, this offense doesn't look like what I thought it would. We've kind of been waiting for that and waiting for him to have more ownership of it. Going to be really interesting to see how it looks on Sunday.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.